everyone, my name is Natalie. Today I wanted to do another Wainwright Shortlist review video. I'm gonna talk about two books today, but I'm gonna start off with The Seabirds Cry by Adam Nicolson, which was the winner of the Wainwrights this year. So this book is a natural history about the seabird as a general discussion on the seabird, but in particular he talks about I think 11 or 10 species of seabirds and goes into detail about their habitat, their intelligence, the way that they have been able to adapt to changing environments. There's specific talk about individual species, but running through the entire book there is discussion on humans' relationship with birds in general and seabirds in particular, the way that environmental changes affect these species, and he talks about extinction and a lot of these seabirds that are at the brink of extinction or that are at least feared to be disappearing slowly but surely. A lot of the book is about this specific kind of characteristic in seabirds, in that they somehow master all of these three elements: the land, the ocean, and the air, and how each species handles this problem, these differing elements in different ways. So for example, some animals are better divers and so they don't fly as much. They have heavier bodies and they spend more time in the water, which changes the way that they fly. Some birds are as he calls it one time, wind runners. They glide on the wind, so they don't actually use a lot of, I think it was the albatrosses that don't actually use a lot of energy to fly because they use the wind to the utmost. He talks about the way that these seabirds adapt to these different elements, how depending on what kind of needs they have, they adjust the way that they live. A lot of the book is inevitably about evolution and the way that these species have adapted to changes in the world around them, and a lot of these changes are sort of directly linked to human existence. The structure of the book, as I said, is formatted after various species. So each chapter is about one species, and then the introduction, and also at the end there's more of a general discussion. I think because of the fact that each chapter is one species, you don't really have the time to get stuck in with one kind of bird, and so if you're not already familiar with them, you don't really get the time to feel connected to them, I think. At least that was the case for me, and I think I would have preferred to have more of a themed structure to the book, so that the criticism of the human and bird relationship, there's this thread throughout all of the chapters, and they don't always necessarily link to one specific species. So this theme comes up again and again throughout the chapters, and I think it would have made sense to have the book more themed in format, so that each chapter, for example, talked about one particular aspect of a seabird life and one aspect of our relationship with them. There are a lot of other themes in this book that I really enjoyed learning about. For example, the whole collecting aspect of birds, like feathers, how that has been sort of an industry, and how we have always valued things like feathers and eggs and even bird bones very highly, despite treating a lot of the living species very poorly. So there's a lot of different interesting themes running through this entire book. It's worth bearing in mind, if you decide to pick this book up, that there is quite a lot of facts to do with the migrating patterns and the mating patterns and sort of their travels to find food and whatnot, in very specific terms. And I think in my case, that didn't really add much to me, because I am not really that good with the subject of geography, and I felt like I couldn't really emotionally connect to those aspects, those pieces of information in this book, and I much preferred when Adam Nicolson sort of took the data and explained it in more lay terms and in more socially and culturally significant terms, what they actually mean, those data, in concrete terms, what they mean for us as parts of this world and how the environment is changing. That was my review of The Seabirds Cry, a really fantastic book in a lot of ways. I especially liked how clear he is with his criticism of how we've got to where we are, where most seabirds are close to extinction, or at least are feared to be extinct by within the next like 100 years, and how much passion there is for this kind of bird that thrives in the three elements: the land, the sea, and the air. So definitely a one to pick up if you're interested in bird nonfiction. The other book that I wanted to talk about that was part of the Wainwright Shortlist is The Lost Words by Robert Macfarlane and Jackie Morris. So this is a picture book. I guess it's for adults, but I think it would probably work as an all ages kind of picture book. And it is basically pictures and text of lost words to do with nature. I guess lost words really meaning words that are rarely used anymore, and so they're going to become lost unless we sort of stick to them. This book I feel like is sort of a way to reclaim those words in a very beautiful way. So each spread is, you have the word on the left side, conquer for example, and then a text to go with it, and then a full page illustration, and in between each like spread of these words there is illustrations that sort of weave in these themes. So for example, the conquer one is this. All of the text in this is really beautifully written and uses melody and really I think captures the beauty in language and in nature as well. And the illustrations are beautiful. All of them have been really stunning, and I think this book is definitely like an autumn book. I feel like it really captures the beauty in nature when it is just shifting from summer to autumn. It's a very stunning book and definitely one to keep and to own. If you're looking for something to gift to someone who loves nature writing, or nature in general, and loves books, this is definitely one to keep in mind for gift giving season. So those are my two Wainwright Shortlist reviews today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've read any of these books, I would love to hear your thoughts about them, especially The Seabirds Cry, or if you have any recommendations for nature type nonfiction, I'm always all ears for those. I hope you're having a really good day, and I will talk to you soon.